Okay, first of all, there are several reasons I want to discuss with you why I was bearish today. Is because not necessarily this, but because of this. Like before we were trading, um, like before 9, we were like this. And I'll explain to you why that is, why I was bearish today. Also, if you measure this wick here, oh my god, that's important to note. And then furthermore, I'll go into the 15-minute chart, and as you can see right here, this is the 5. I'm gonna move all this. Here we have relative equal lows, so that was my draw. And then we had this gap, and so that was very reasonable for the price to come here. So when 9:30 opened, we had a 80 handle run or something. We come back up, we had this, and then we take out um, the midnight kind of these lows, and that was my end of the day target. We could have traded in this, and we did. We could have also traded in this because I've also traded back to here, but this is full target for me. That's about, when I traded this, that's about 124 handles. Yes, that's fine. So now I'll go to the kind of what happened at 8:30. This candle in here, we had the CPI numbers, so we disrupted all these highs, and we left these relative equal lows intact. So the probability for me to go short was getting higher. And in here we left relative equal highs. So I thought that if we go back in here, we might take that up then, and then go lower. So probably something like that. But the other thing happened is that we swiped these highs, and at 9:30 here, we swiped this high again. So then we formed this. We didn't form a first percentage value gap. It was this gap, which is the 928 gap. It's very rare that moments like these happens, but it's CPI after all, and it's the structure really looked phenomenal to me, because this is the first percentage fair value gap, which I would predict that today would be in a strange day. So then we traded here, and then in one line almost, we traded down. We do come back in some inverse fair value gaps and stuff like that, but overall, in the first macro, we went up here to the 15-minute order block. This one, this one. So we traded into there, and then we also in that this 5-minute fair value gap in here, we traded back into there. Then we went lower, high again to the midpoint and to the order block. My entry would be on the order block. If the 15-second chart, let me check. I would just go short on this order block. Yeah, that's what I would do. And then my stop loss would come here, and then we trade a lower, lower, lower. And once it does this, and then trade back low, then my stop loss come to my entry. So that's very important. And here, once we start to respect that, my stop loss come to my entry. Also, we have to stay in close below here. This is also fine. After we do that, then my stop loss would come to my entry. Not entering this order block actually is an indication of strength that we don't come to this order block. We do come here, we do come here, we do come here, but we don't come necessarily here. And we just trade to that inverse fair value gap, and then we trade it lower to take out these relative equal lows. So if I traded that, that would be 17 handles, and then of course, if I had a third contract on, my stop loss would just come to my entry, and then I would be lucky enough to write it down all the way here at the close. 1 p.m. I would close it, definitely, something like that. So that's the gist of today. Pretty easy.